Fox makes the controversial decision to cancel NASCAR Race Hub. Matt DiBenedetto has a full-time seat for the rest of this season, and Bowman Gray Stadium may very well host the Clash next year. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Happy Friday. Throwback weekend is upon us. If you missed it yesterday, I reviewed, analyzed, judged every NASCAR Cup Series throwback scheme. A lot of good ones, a few duds. You can click right up here to watch that video or click the top link down in the description below. Today, we are catching up on what has been a whirlwind of a week. On this show, I really try to be fair and balanced. I always try to see both sides of every argument. I know some of y'all think I hate your favorite driver. That's really not the case. I do try to be objective. Sometimes I may fall short, but I always strive to be fair. I am going to try to be fair to Fox Sports. Earlier this week, reporter Kelly Crandall, writing for Racer.com, broke the news that NASCAR Race Hub has been canceled. Its final episode will air on June 11th. NASCAR Race Hub has been on the air since 2009, transitioned to FS1 in 2013. Now it is somewhat unceremoniously going away. To be completely honest, cable television is not as relevant, obviously, as it once was. Cable subscriptions continue to dwindle month after month, year after year. But this still stings, obviously, for the people who work on the show, but even for the entire NASCAR community. NASCAR having its own dedicated daily show on a top sports cable TV network is a huge deal. Fox giving it the axe is demoralizing. And the timing is confusing. This move comes just months after Fox re-upped their TV deal with NASCAR. They just signed a 7-year extension. Fox is supposedly a NASCAR partner. Doesn't feel like they're partners. It doesn't feel like Fox actually has a vested interest in helping to grow the sport. It feels like Fox is looking out for Fox, which I can't exactly blame them. I understand they are a corporation. Ultimately, their job is to make as much money as possible for themselves and their shareholders. If they feel they can achieve that by cutting, go for it. It's a bold strategy. All I know is that, as someone who watches NASCAR on Fox, because I have no other choice, I am one of their customers. And I am not very happy with the product and services they've been putting out in recent years. And I know, reading social media, reading YouTube comments, I know I am not alone. The decision to cut Race Hub is perplexing. The timing makes absolutely zero sense. But if I try to be fair to Fox, maybe this is a transition. They started up, Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour podcast. I enjoy listening to it for the most part. It has its down moments, but it also has some really interesting tidbits. Like Kevin Harvick often goes into detail on past stories that haven't really been addressed. Some pretty good stuff there. Maybe that show somewhat fills Race Hub's slot. Maybe this is a sign of Fox transitioning more towards digital content, which I'll be honest, that's now where I consume 99% of my sports media. When I was a kid, I'd watch SportsCenter on TV every morning. I'd come home from school, I would watch Pardon the Interruption, Around the Horn, and then often I'd stick around to watch NASCAR Race Hub. I don't do any of those things anymore and haven't for probably 10 plus years now. Now, all the sports content I consume is really on YouTube or podcasts. I know I'm not alone, so while it stings to lose that cable television staple, and cable TV, albeit dwindling, is still a big deal, maybe this is Fox finally evolving in some respects, going more digital, focusing on social media, online content. If Fox does not add anything to their NASCAR coverage, if nothing comes close to replacing Race Hub, then yeah, they deserve to get dragged. Again, they just signed a 7-year extension. They have so much skin in the game. They're supposed to be a partner. Nope. Fox is only looking out for themselves. They don't seem to care much about NASCAR. I guess they just want to sell their other products to NASCAR fans. That's the perception, at least, and that is disheartening. Anyway, that's my take on Fox canceling NASCAR Race Hub. Again, I hate this for all the people who work on the show, who have worked on the show for many, many years. On the plus side, the CW, I know, met with Xfinity Series teams and drivers this week talking about production ideas for next year. So that's encouraging to see one of NASCAR's new broadcast partners taking that initiative, showing that kind of care, that interest in understanding what makes this sport great and unique. So, kudos to the CW based on what I've seen so far. Now let's talk about some more on-track news. Matt DiBenedetto has a full-time ride for the remainder of the 2024 season. He announced on social media earlier this week.
Well, it's official. I'll be full-time the rest of 2024 with Viking Motorsports. Man, super thankful to be part of this team, and I'm really pumped about our future together as Don Sackett, the owner of the team, and the whole group are all in, to say the least. I love it. There's such a great group of people, and man, I'm really thankful that they chose and trusted me to be the one to wheel it.
Very exciting news for Matt DiBenedetto and his fans. DiBenedetto has made 5 Xfinity Series starts already this year. His best finish was an 8th at Talladega. His best non-drafting track finish was an 18th at Richmond, I believe. So I'm not really sure what his ceiling is in that car. All I know is that if I'm Matt DiBenedetto, I keep my head down, I focus, I go to work. Don't complain, don't plead with the media, don't plead with your fans. Just focus on improving week after week, building up that program. That's the best thing I think he can do to try and rebuild his career. Maybe he'll be with Viking Motorsports long term. If they're truly a Ryan Sieg affiliate team, shoot, Ryan Sieg's contended for wins this season. Maybe DiBenedetto could become an Xfinity Series staple. Otherwise, keep your head down, go to work, let the talent speak for itself, and eventually DiBenedetto could land himself a better opportunity. Like I said, all offseason long, the talent is there. Matt DiBenedetto is more than talented enough to race full-time in one of the top 3 series of NASCAR. What he did in Rackley War equipment in the Truck Series the last 2 years should not go unnoticed. He got that team to victory lane. He got that team to the playoffs. Matt DiBenedetto is good. Is he great? Future Cup champion? But he's good. So I'm glad to see him full-time in the Xfinity Series. I wish him the best. Next, before we get to that bombshell NASCAR 2025 schedule report from The Athletic, Corey Heim will make another NASCAR Cup Series start next month at Nashville Super Speedway. 2311 confirmed this morning. They put out a teaser yesterday, but it was pretty clear with Mobil 1 attached that Heim was the likely candidate. Heim was in some of those Mobil 1 promo videos at the beginning of the year. He's a 2311 reserve driver. He just impressed 2 weeks in a row in Legacy Motor Club equipment. Might be the best driver in the Craftsman Truck Series currently. Yeah, excited to see Corey Heim get another Cup Series opportunity. What I would be really curious to know is if this deal was in the works before his run with Legacy, or if the run at Legacy is what pushed 2311 and Mobil 1 to get this deal done. I have a feeling this has been in the works for probably weeks, if not months, but still, I think Corey Heim turned some heads at Dover and Kansas, running around the top 20 back-to-back weeks with little to no track time or experience. This kid is the real deal. I know you guys think I'm the biggest Corey Heim homer in the world. I'm just a fan. I think he carries himself well. I love the consistency. I respect good young racers, and I think Corey Heim has the potential to be one of the next big things in stock car racing. So cool to see him get another Cup Series opportunity here in a few weeks. One other team that's been teasing a new driver potentially is RFK. Their Stage 60 social media account posted this photo this week with the caption, "Who's next?" David Reagan has driven this car this year. If I had to guess, remember this offseason, there was a report out of Australia that Supercars driver Cam Waters was tied to RFK. I think those reports eventually fizzled out, but then Cam Waters came to the States anyways and has made some starts for Thor Sport this year in the Truck Series, finished 19th at Kansas this past weekend, and made a new best friend in Lane Riggs. So my guess is they're teasing something with Cam Waters, but I don't know that for sure. Leave your best guess down in the comment section below. And no, it's not going to be Carl Edwards. I see you typing it out. Stop typing. Put the keyboard down. It's not him. Ooh, but what if it was him? No, it's not him. It's not him. No, stop. Let's move on. Jordan Bianchi, writing for The Athletic, released the teaser of teasers this week. I will link the full article down in the description below. I'm not going to go over everything, just a few of the highlights. I encourage you to check out his piece. In this story, though, Jordan Bianchi says that the 2025 NASCAR schedule could get released later this month. Whoa, that is way quicker than previous seasons. My body is not prepared. Bianchi also discusses a few major changes that are being considered. He mentions Mexico City. His sources say a deal is close to getting done. This would be the first points-paying NASCAR Cup Series race held outside the U.S. since the 1950s. Bianchi reports that Mexico City would likely replace the spring Richmond date. They wouldn't race on Easter Sunday, but Richmond would have to lose a date for Mexico City to squeeze in. I think this is a genius move. I understand it will be a logistical hurdle for many in the industry to get all the way down to Mexico City, but other sports are going international, the NFL, the NBA. Shoot, my Astros just played a 2-game series in Mexico City. It's one of the only series they've won this year. There are motorsports fans in every country, tons of fans in Mexico. Makes a ton of sense to bring a race to their backyard. If NASCAR is going to go international, obviously makes the most sense to start in North America. Montreal, they've been trying, haven't been able to time out, maybe 2026, but next year, Mexico City, I'll take it. I think it's a great call. I don't love another road course, but hey, maybe we can get the Roval off the schedule, put the Charlotte Oval 400 or 500 mile race in the fall again. Bianchi also teases that Bowman Gray Stadium may host the Clash. Yeah, that's right. We talked a couple months ago about NASCAR acquiring the rights to host and manage events at Bowman Gray. They're wasting no time, it sounds like, trying to get the Cup Series there to the Madhouse. Bowman Gray has not hosted a NASCAR Cup Series race in more than half a century, I believe. This would be radical. Not a points-paying race, just an exhibition, but a season-opening Clash at the Madhouse? You gotta be crazy. It's gonna be cold, likely, be chilly for sure, but I don't hate this idea. It's a quarter-mile flat track. The next-gen car has proved the last 3 years it can handle those types of conditions. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. What's the capacity? Like 17,000? It will be packed, slammed, rowdy. That's going to come through our television sets. It's grassroots, close to home. Way cheaper for the teams to get to Bowman Gray and back than go all the way to LA before the Daytona 500. Makes sense logistically. Weather's a question mark. It will be an interesting show. I'm not going to say a great show, but it will be an interesting show, no doubt. I like this move, but I still wish that in the future, the Clash is used to experiment with new markets. I still want to see NASCAR bring the stadium concept to other major cities around the country, potentially even around the world one day. Let the All-Star race be that love letter to grassroots racing. Let the Clash be something completely unique, experimental. That's the way I feel about it, but hey, I'm fine with this decision if in fact it goes through. I know some fans don't like Bowman Gray, doesn't have the strongest reputation. That's a fair concern, I suppose, but this is the NASCAR Cup Series racing there. These guys lose their heads from time to time, sure, but I don't think it'll look quite like the Madhouse has sometimes looked in the past when other folks are racing there. Let me know if you would like to see a NASCAR Cup Series race at Bowman Gray. I honestly can't believe it's happening so soon. One final rumor, teaser, that I want to address from this Athletic article. Bianchi reports that Phoenix Raceway will likely host Championship Weekend once again in 2025, but a recent Homestead Miami Council meeting began to make plans to bid on hosting NASCAR Championship Weekend in 2026. So we could see the finale return to Homestead in the next 2 years. I do hope that happens. The track may need a fresh coat of paint, a few renovations here and there to be truly championship weekend worthy. That's where Phoenix has shined in recent years. But the racing at Homestead is far superior. I would love to see the finale return there, especially with this next-gen car, how well it races at multi-groove intermediates. That being said, I don't hate Phoenix, obviously, as much as a lot of other people do. I don't want my championship race to be chaotic. I want it to be fairly straightforward with the fastest drivers and cars bubbling to the front and racing it out amongst themselves. Championship race should be in a big market. Phoenix is. Miami, it's Homestead really, but it is. I still think one day, if and when the Auto Club short track becomes a thing, I could believe those 3 tracks could rotate the championship venue every year, every couple of years. Southern California, Phoenix, Miami, all big, flashy markets, all warm weather, and all 3 tracks owned by ISC/NASCAR. I could see that rotation becoming a thing in the next few years. Again, if the Auto Club short track project ever truly gets off the ground, which that is a huge if at this point. Let me know what you think. Phoenix for another year, but maybe a return to Homestead, Miami. I think that'll have a lot of longtime fans very, very excited. Leave a comment down below. And again, be sure to check out that full schedule teaser piece from The Athletic. We didn't hit on everything. That is going to do it for this episode, y'all. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and love all things NASCAR. We break down the latest news, rumors, races every single day here on Out of the Groove. And a huge thank you to my very generous Patreon supporters. You might see me again later today. So much has happened this week. We've still got more to catch up on. We'll see. But have a wonderful rest of your Friday, folks. Thank you so much for watching this episode.